The other day I posted something, I worked out, I had a great workout, and then I went to Target and I love trail mix, like just different flavored like trail mixes. I could not open the package. And it was not a healthy trail mix, the one that I bought. And I was like, I posted on Instagram. Yeah, I'm like, it's a sign. If I can't get into it, I'm not supposed to have it,
True. Hey guys, welcome to Biz Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Adi Vaknin. Today I have someone with me, beautiful inside and out, Isabella Garofanelli with Your Lux Life podcast and Instagram. So you better follow her and listen into her podcast because it's extremely, extremely interesting. If you're into luxury, everything luxury, lifestyle, cars, houses, real estate, just traveling, everything in general. So this is my beautiful Isabella.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Today we're getting into, I don't want to do just where are you from, where'd you grow up, I want to get into what drove you into this whole Lux life. Like I know you were traveling a lot before, but what made you want to turn it into something that you can teach people? Like what is it that you're trying to teach people?
Right. Little background.
Mm-hmm.
So grew up on a small island in the Bahamas.
Okay.
My dad owned restaurants. He owned a small hotel. And it was a yacht club as well.
Okay.
So I grew up with this, like in hospitality. I have photos of, so on Sundays, right? At least back then in the Bahamas, everything was closed. Very Christian country. And just everything was closed. We would go to the hotels on Sundays and that's where we'd hang out.
Oh, nice. So
for me, my upbringing was I just thought it was normal to go in the pool and be with guests and,
awesome.
hang out.
Yeah.
So then my father passed away when I was 9. We moved to Chicago, lived there for a few years, moved to Florida, and just the travel bug always stuck with me. My aunt and uncle are airline captains, so we flew a lot, standby awesome. Free. So as a child, we were always weekends or holidays, we just travel. Then after I graduated college, I was like, what do I want to do? I worked for a big media company at the time.
Okay.
And I knew that that's not what I wanted. I hated the whole, working in a cubicle and looking out my little window while everyone else is living their lives. I'm like, no, I need to have my own business and I want to travel. This is what I want to do. So I decided to become a travel agent.
Oh,
I
wow.
opened a travel agency. And it was Your Lux Travel. That's where like the Your Lux came in. Yeah. So it was Your Lux Travel, and
it was like a concierge, like you would do the whole thing for
them,
or?
So it was mostly like weddings, honeymoons, like destination weddings. We did a lot of, I hired an assistant also at the time. We did like group company trips.
Right.
So like company retreats
nice.
and things like that. So after a while of planning everyone's trips, right? I'm like, wait, I want to go on those trips. But after you get accustomed to working with the marketing teams of certain hotels, you get discounts where they're like, hey, do you want to, check out, they're called FAM trips, like familiarization trips.
Right. So that you can kind of
visit the hotel that you're promoting.
Right. Beautiful. I love it.
So I started traveling and staying at these places. And then with I don't even know what iPhone it was back then, but like some basic, like
it was a Nokia.
Early gen.
It was a Nokia.
Yeah. Early gen iPhone. I was taking photos.
Wow.
Right? Of the properties or me there. And then I would tag them. And a few.
What? This is like Instagram era?
Yes.
Oh, before Nokia.
Yeah. After. So I would tag them. This is, again, a long time ago. Yeah. And they would say, hey, can we use your photo? We like your photo. They would send me like a DM.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yeah, oh my gosh, they want to promote my, or they want to use my photo on their Instagram. And I would say, yes. And then after a while, that's when the business idea came in. I was like, wait, I'm doing something for free. They obviously like this.
Right.
And the light bulb went off. I'm like, I'm going to make a business out of this. So that's how I became one of the first like travel bloggers.
I love it.
Back then. It wasn't so much like blogging because I didn't want to do the writing.
Right.
Because that took more time.
Right, of course.
It was just the photos and creating content for them. Then as my company progressed, I hired a writer. So that's where the travel blog came into play. So I would give her the content, tell her kind of like what my experience was like, and then we piece the whole thing together.
And you had it on a website, or
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
nice.
So that was Your
and
Luxe
it's
Travel.
Still?
Sorry,
the website is active.
So we transitioned to lifestyle.
Okay.
So Your Luxe Lifestyle came during COVID.
Okay.
Because travel wasn't really a thing back then. I was still traveling, but no one else was. So, I would go and visit these
Nobody
properties.
wanted to wear a mask for 12 hours.
Right. So the properties, my spin with that, I was like, listen, travel's going to pick up eventually.
Right.
Let me come and create the content now, so that way when people start traveling again, you have this fresh content.
Right. Beautiful.
So thank you. But I didn't have as many jobs. Right? Travel jobs. So I started working with lifestyle brands. And I'm like, I need to branch out.
What kind of brands?
Some clothing brands. Okay. I started to get into wellness because with COVID, people were more into
wellness, of course, working out and everything like that. Yeah. Everybody was working out from home.
Yeah, or what vitamins, are we taking the right things, to protect ourselves? I'm trying to think of what some of my big... That's when I got into clothing more.
And I know that you do you show off your what you wear that day and what you're wearing for work and things like that. So did you ever get into styling?
No, it was more so when you're creating that sort of content. So I would do destination campaigns, right? So I would pitch a hotel. I would say, hey, let me come here. I'll give you whatever the deliverables are. But then also to supplement my income, I would reach out to clothing brands.
And just say, I'm going to do this.
I'm going to be at this place. I'm going to feature your stuff at this, whatever, Waldorf Astoria, resort. Yeah, whatever. And they were like, yeah, of course. That's a whole, location we don't have to pay for. But I would say more in the last few years, because it was mostly travel. Right. I mean, tropical. Most of the places I've ever traveled to was warm.
Island. Well, it's because your background is Bahamas.
Right. But the fashion was just beachy. So now I think as I've matured, right? It's not just that.
You feel like your style has changed.
My style has definitely changed. I'm not just wearing sundresses anymore and swimsuits.
Of course, because you're also more business attire. So you feel like you need things that are a little bit more serious, more ready for the meeting.
So little by little, I've seen the closet. I'm like, oh, okay, haven't worn that in a few years. Haven't worn that. Yeah. But
what do you do with clothes that you don't wear anymore?
So every 2 months, I actually do an audit. I'm
really?
very...
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm one of those super...
OCD?
Yeah, for sure. Everything is color coordinated. I have it folded in threes. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. So I do an audit. I'm like, okay, what haven't I worn in a while? Or... if I haven't worn it, do I still like it?
Right.
Like a Marie Kondo, I think that's her name. Yeah. Does it bring you joy? Right.
I should do that.
Yeah.
My closet's a disaster.
I do that, and
too much. I have things from.
I'm sure because you have great style.
Probably from high school, I still have things.
But you're the same size, so it still fits, which is great. I mean, hello. Okay, so your original question was how.
As far as do you style? So you're saying you don't style anybody, but I feel like your whole, you're a whole package for your own brand. Right. Meaning you have the look for everything that's luxury, from the things that you wear, the car that you drive, the lifestyle that you live. So I know that you're a member at the Faina, right?
Yep.
And I love that. I don't think
Faina
too many people.
And I'm one of the youngest too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, they have some of the don't hate me, fight. So for me, I'm big on personal branding. That's something that I learned a long time ago. That you are your own brand. Right. As you walk out of the door, what are you portraying to the world?
For sure.
And my grandmother raised me like that. She was always like, Isabella, you're whatever, fix yourself, or she was just always act like a lady, make yourself, presentable. Yeah. Also just kind of, I wouldn't say a mask, but no one needs to know all of the what's going on
behind closed doors.
Because at the end of the day, they're not going to help you.
Nobody.
It's up to you.
Right.
So at least make it look like you have your shit together.
For sure.
So for me, I feel like the Your Lux lifestyle, the brand of my company, is just it's who I've always been. I just maybe at certain points in my life I didn't have the knowledge of how to tie it together,
Right.
or the resources. So I feel like as I've matured, I'm expressing myself more in what I always knew I was.
I love that.
So even like, times in my life when I was a little heavier, right? It's like inside I thought I was a skinny girl and I acted like a skinny girl.
I still feel like I'm 12 years old on the inside. So, I'm very young at heart. I can be a kid at times. I can sit and play with slime with my son. So I get it. I totally get it.
Right. So it's just being comfortable and just feel like this is who I am.
Right.
And then I think one of the other things I still struggle with is not seeming showy.
Okay.
Even though I am though. Right. So I struggle with I don't want to ever make someone feel less than, or that I'm doing too much or I'm putting on a show. But that's who I am. Like I go to the grocery store, looking at I make sure my hair's curled and it's who I am. I take the time, I put the effort in.
Right.
So I think
it's important. Yeah, like for you to be well kept is important to you.
Yeah. And I feel like just across the board, even with company branding or whatever you put out there, or if you have an actual location, when you walk in the location, is it all cohesive to your brand?
So going back to the original question, how are you turning this into a business, into a company? Meaning you've structured yourself, you've created your persona, your brand. How are you putting it into a business? Because I feel like a lot of women, especially in our age, creeping into the 40s, you start to ask yourself, what am I doing? Yeah. Who am I?
What's my purpose?
Exactly. I think everybody that creeps into the 40, even though they say, 40 is the new 20, doesn't matter. Every woman and their biological clock, it's still you're 40 years old.
Right.
And you ask yourself, what am I doing with myself?
Right.
I'm a lawyer, but what else? Or I'm a mother, but what else? Or I'm into luxury lifestyles. What can I do with it?
Right.
So what are you doing?
What's my plan, my goal?
Yeah.
So it's a little, I could speak so much on it, but I can't also because I'm going through a divorce as we speak. But my whole concept that I'm tying everything together, right, is life design. So essentially my title is a life designer. So I bring in...
So like a life coach, but on another level?
Yes. Okay. So for high net worth individuals, just because you're successful, you have the money, doesn't mean that you have everything else checked off on your list, right?
In what sense, meaning?
So for real estate, right? So helping someone find the right home.
Okay.
Also with design. So I have a love for design. So being able to, and when it comes to these different subjects, if I can't do it, it's me outsourcing and bringing in the experts that can.
Okay.
So that's the concept also of my podcast, is bringing in experts from different fields.
That can help you
design your life the way that you want it to be. So different elements as far as real estate, matchmaking, helping someone find their partner, whether it's marriage or if it's just a
I see you post funny reels on Instagram.
On dating, yeah. I think it's hilarious.
So dating world is completely different, especially when you go through a divorce around this age. You are looking for things that you didn't look for when you got married,
or more now what it is that you do want.
Right.
I think, and it's also even if you weren't married, the relationships also, I think a lot of people that just stay with the same person, they never, expand and date other people. You'll never really know what it is that you want in a partner. So the life designer is essentially bringing in aspects. So wellness. So that's another thing that's very important to me.
So I know a lot of people that have tons of money and they don't take
care
of
unhealthy
themselves at all.
Yeah.
At all, for sure.
Yeah. So for me, biohacking is important. My grandmother, she was sick her pretty much my whole life. So I'm all about preventative measures.
Okay.
So not just going to the doctor when you're sick, but like, let's get to the root of the problem and figure out what it is that we can do to,
like IV therapy and things like that.
Yeah, IVs, peptides, supplements. I think just doing a lot of testing also helps, just so you can see where your levels are at any given moment. Life coaching is I have a life coach, so I actually go to one, and she kind of guides me, helps me. Spirituality also is very big to me.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. So
I think having faith it's huge. No matter what religion, even if it's not a religion, maybe just your morals or whatever it is. So those are all aspects that I think I'm tying in together.
Right.
Also, I think just having a business mindset too. I think there are a lot of people that they have great ideas, but they don't know how to
put it together,
bring
it to life. And
Yeah. So, getting into contact with those people to help you either with creating a trust, like your estate, or tax strategies. Like those are the people that I'm creating that network. So that way you come to me and where is it that you need help?
Right. That's beautiful. That's so nice. But it's a lot of energy that you need to deal with people's lives.
True. So, a year and a half ago, my grandmother, who's my mom, she passed away. She raised me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And thank you. And she always had it together. And she told me, she raised me with the sense of you can do anything that you want to do. Right. So I wake up and I'm like, I need to make the most of, life is short. I need 100%. To make the most out of every day. I can't let things that's happened to me in the past hold me back. And I didn't really have that direction other than her. Right now, it's me. I don't have someone else to give me advice or, Isabella, maybe you should do this or not do this or, tone down or whatever it is. So I feel like there are a lot of people out there that they don't have that guidance. And
for sure. I think that a lot of people also have lost their way, especially with social media, that kind of shows you what life you should be living.
Right.
And even for me, you can look online, and my husband will probably tell you this, that I'm like, we don't vacation enough. Look at all these people. They're traveling and we're just working and we're not doing anything, 100% FOMO. And that's just with that, let alone other people that, whether it's body image problems or it's relationships. Oh, look at them, or look how her husband spoils her, or look at and you never really know what's behind closed doors.
Right.
So I feel like it's all such a facade, but we have people have lost their ways. Back in the day, who even spoke about having a life coach? Now you need somebody to help you coach your life.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But I think it's definitely the comparison.
Right.
Until for me, I can tell. I have to tell myself, okay, put it down.
Yeah.
Because it's not good. You have to budget your time
100%.
with how much you spend. And I know I sound like a mom for sure. It's get off of social media, or whatever, Instagram or TikTok. But it's true. It's unhealthy after a certain point. And for me, I consume a lot.
Right.
But I have to put those boundaries in place.
Listen, I would say probably 50% of it is helping you in business. And then the other 50% is a waste of time.
Right. It's for entertainment.
But you go through the rabbit hole. You just watch one video and then the next video, and then you end up on a funny video.
Right. Well, what I think also what used to take up a lot of my time, I used to go and check the people that are close to me. Oh, what are they doing today? Or what are they... And I realized I could just text them,
right.
I don't necessarily.
You also need to start focusing on yourself, and instead of wasting your energy on other people. How am I going to better myself? What am I doing with my time? And I feel like we've all, I think, come to an intersection where we've lost our ways and we don't know which direction to go. So definitely what you plan to offer eventually. I guess when you completely launch the whole thing.
So I can't technically my issue, which this is why my first guest on my podcast was a divorce attorney.
Oh,
yeah, because I've learned a lot through this process. I can't actually create any new companies until the divorce is over.
Oh, of course.
So that's why I'm in the, let's say, R&D, research and development phase of this project to then, launch when that happens.
Well, when it happens, you guys will be very lucky to have somebody like this designing your life.
Yes, thank you.
That's awesome. So you're also, I see, into fitness, and like I know, like it's really like the whole package. Like you're really portraying like this is what you need to build for yourself. So
yeah,
it's awesome. Really, you're doing it.
I'm creating the network. I think that's actually one of the positives of social media. It's great for networking.
Oh, for sure.
Like you can meet someone from across the world, like in an instant, and you have something in common. Right. So I think in that sense, it's good.
Right.
But yeah, fitness to me, it's like I feel like once I work out, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
And before I used to put other things like in front of him, like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. Now it's a priority. Like that's the first thing. Yeah.
It's first, your body, your soul. And I see that you do enjoy like your time, and you also work, and you're doing it all.
Yeah.
I love it.
There's a lot of behind the scenes that I don't show. Like I'm always juggling a lot of things. And I feel like, lately I've gotten more into showing more of my daily life. Right. I never used to do that before.
I feel like it's important because you can show this designed luxury life, but nobody has all the pieces put together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like for people to relate to it and say, you know what? Yes, she can definitely help me design my life. Like, what is she doing behind? Where's the banana in the coffee in the car?
Yeah. No, the other day,
a granola bar? Like, what's happening?
The other day I posted something, I worked out, I had a great workout, and then I went to Target, and I love trail mix, like just different flavored like trail mixes, and I could not open the package. And it was not a healthy trail mix, the one that I bought. And I was like, I posted on Instagram. Yeah, I'm like, it's a sign. If I can't get into it, I'm not supposed to have it.
It's true.
God so just like God little things.
You.
Like
said
I'm
that
always
workout you did in the morning.
Yeah, you're gonna undo it right now, for sure.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, amazing. Well, this is Isabella and her amazing company. I'm very excited because I might hire her for myself to help me design my whole balagan, which is a big mess in Hebrew. But yes, we just, as a businesswoman, as a mom, everything, you can't put everything together by yourself. And I think it's okay to ask for help. And especially when you have somebody that's beautiful to help you, why not?
Thank you.
So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And don't forget Your Lux Lifestyle.
Your Lux Lifestyle, yes.
So completely, okay. Yeah. Your Lux Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Podcast is coming or it's out yet?
We've recorded, so it's coming soon.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited to listen to all the networking that you've done on the podcast and who you're introducing, because I feel like it's an added benefit to everybody who's watching.
Yeah.
So
it's
awesome.
It's things that you want to know, you're not really sure where to go for the resources. So versus just Googling
feel like
something.
Most women don't know. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it.
Thank
you guys. Thank you for watching Biz Insider Podcast, and we will see you guys soon.
Bye.